Are you listening? This ain't no quiet thing. We're screaming out our lungs. Hey, are you listening? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you listening? Or do you just not care?
Well, hey, are you listening? This is a podcast exploring the past, present, and future of Christian music. My name's Joel. I'm here with my good friend Brandon. And we connected over a mutual love, mostly of Starflyer 59, but also have pretty different tastes, and get to experience some new stuff from each other while inviting some friends along for the ride. Brandon, how you doing today?
Stupendous.
Stupendous. It is just that kind of day, isn't it?
It is. I don't know. I was about to say yeah, but I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I feel like that knocks it down. If the day was an album, I would say the first half was like 5 stars, but I haven't had lunch yet, so that probably drops it down to like 3 stars.
That's a pretty significant loss.
It is. It's if I would have had Wendy's, it could have brought it back up, but
In all my running around, I grabbed something really quickly, but I'm sorry to hear that you weren't able to.
I don't know. Have you seen the Minions meal at Wendy's?
I have seen the Minions meal at Wendy's.
Not to get off a sidetracked, but recently there's been a bunch of promotions going on in the food world. And I went to purchase it the other day. It came with a like bacon cheeseburger, fries, and I believe I don't even know if it comes with a drink or not.
Oh, wow.
But it comes with a collectible figurine and a banana
Oh, yeah.
Frosty.
Right.
Or
It's-
is it Frosty what they do?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it runs you about $14, I think, $14 or $15, and it was not worth it. There's like 4 toys, and 3 of them are Minions, and one's just like an alien, like holding a garbage bag up or
Gotcha.
something, and that's what I got.
Are these like kids' meal quality toys, or are they a little better?
No, I mean it's something you put on your bookshelf. It's like one of the characters is like dressed up as Wendy. Another one's like I think dressed up maybe as a burger or something.
Gotcha.
The Frosty, it just tasted like it made like a banana Laffy Taffy taste organic.
Here's what I was wondering about that. Because I saw that, and I noticed that you could get either banana and the vanilla Frosty or the chocolate Frosty. Which one did you get?
Oh, they didn't even give me that option.
Oh.
They just threw in some vanilla and threw in the
Gotcha.
yellow stuff.
I was wondering about the chocolate Frosty with banana, if that would be good.
And then Hardee's, they have a meal where you can get a toy, like a die-cast car in there. And
Fancy.
but you have to order it through the app. So first off, makes it difficult. Took me
Right.
about 20 minutes to get the app to work. Took me about 30 minutes to get my food after that. And the die-cast was high quality. Everything else. Hardee's demonstrated they do a really good job when it comes to selling die-cast cars. But I think everything, the app to the food, there was some work to be done.
Gotcha. I feel like the car makes sense to me. I didn't realize that you were a Minions fan.
I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, I'm a Minions fan, but I haven't watched the last 2 movies. It's like Star Wars, where it's like, I love the Phantom Menace. The prequels, not so much. Disney, not so much. But Jar Jar Binks, he's my guy.
That is the prequels, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing okay, but sorry that you haven't had anything to eat yet. So I might have some peanuts in a drawer over here.
I would ask our viewers to bring food, but if I waited on you, I would probably die.
That's probably true. Well, you might survive. We'll see. All right. Today, Brandon, you brought an EP to us to chat about, and it's one that this band came up in our super group conversation the other day, and it's one that you've been listening to this for a while, but this is the first time that I've ever listened to this band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had a pass with them as well.
Nope. So
Yeah.
gonna be interesting, but we're gonna be talking about the EP Habit of Creature by Neon Horse. So more to come on that. It'll be fun. Before we get into that, let's check the mail.
Check the mail. Check the mail. Who, what, when, how, why? Check the mail.
All right, Brandon, we're going to check the mail. Today's question comes to us from a friend of the show, John Wilson. He says, I haven't listened to you two in many years. This is like pointing back to, I think, just like what we've been listening to lately, conversation. He says, I haven't listened to you two in many years, but the Easter Lily album is current favorite of mine, getting a lot of time on my Spotify. Great pick there, Joel. Thanks, John. My question here is, who would you rank as the best Christian adjacent bands? Like, never on a Christian specific label, never toured with Christian bands, but definitely delve into some Christian-esque lyrics and topics. He said, I always felt Creed was also kind of in this category. Would love to hear who else you would put on that list. Christian adjacent artists. There's a lot of them out there, I feel like. So, who do you think?
I think a few that come to mind is probably, I think people would lump Colony House into this.
Yep.
Because I mean, I've only been listening for like a year, so I don't know like all of the history and all, but I know like as of now, they're not on a Christian label or tour. But I think a lot of their stuff deals with just like Jesus and just life and faith and balancing the two. A couple of other artists that come to mind is I feel like Regina Spektor as someone who over the years has just like not been afraid to dive in to faith and just these ideas. Like she has songs where it's just like talking to God and all. And I don't know. I just feel like her stuff has been cool, and there's stuff that I don't like as a Christian I listen to and I'm like, man, that you're seeing what I've been thinking, or you know, like, man, that's interesting to think about. I think another band, they're a smaller band but Tedious and Brief. I think on like their newest stuff they didn't really mention it a ton, but on their, I'll pull up the name of the EP if the internet will cooperate. Okay, never mind. It's just a self-titled EP.
Okay.
But they've got a couple of stuff on there. They've also got a song called Prodigal, where essentially they just talk about like what happens if they like start to doubt. Like, are they going to be like thrown out or something? And I feel like it's just a really cool just reminder of that you're not going to be thrown out because you are questioning or you drift off. So
I recently listened to a song called Prodigal by somebody and was like, oh, this is good. And
No.
And I can't remember at all who it was by, and that's going to really bother me. But
Elvis Presley?
I'm not going to sit here and wonder about it too much on the air because it's not exciting podcasting. So I'm going to think about that one a little bit. Maybe it'll come to me. I think there's a ton of artists in this category that you could think about. A lot of the artists that I've listened to over the years, like a Sufjan Stevens, for as an example, like Sufjan he's got Christmas albums where he's just singing like even hymns that aren't even Christmas songs, like Amazing Grace and different stuff. There's a version of Sufjan and Danielson singing Amazing Grace together, which is great. But obviously it's a huge theme even today in his music. Just his like wrestling with his relationship with God. So that's one for sure. I think a lot of the old like emo stuff that I used to listen to falls into this category. So like a Sunny Day Real Estate, Jeremy Enoch, Mineral, Chris Simpson, a lot of those kinds of bands, a lot of the Midwest emo kind of stuff, like fell into this world a little bit. I honestly think too, like I would consider a lot of like Tooth and Nail bands Christian adjacent. That maybe not all the members were Christians. But somebody was, and it like came in. But Tooth and Nail was never like technically like a Christian label. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different artists that kind of fall into categories like this, but those are something I think of, and definitely U2's definitely in that category.
I think we're in an age where it's like there's more like it's not just a fence and you have to be on one side or the other,
Right.
but like there's more of like a playground. Because I remember it's always stuck with me that someone described like Jars of Clay as they don't sing about Jesus enough to be fully embraced by the Christian market, but they talk about him too much to be embraced by the non-Christian market. And I think that you've got people out there that are just singing about life, and you need to allow them to do that. Because I mean, I think that, you know, like I've given you this compliment before, and I think like out of context, it might not make like, you know, sense, but it's like, to me, you're someone that's like, you have a ton of interest. So like if someone sits down with you, it's not the only thing you're like, let's talk about the Bible. It's like you can be on the streets and you can have a whole conversation about like guitars or board games or, you know, like whatever. And
The problem is all of my interests are interests that most people aren't into. So like even with that being the case, me having a lot of interests, they're all pretty niche, and so like,
yeah, but I mean, I think that if someone came to you and said, "Hey, Joel, like I want you to like here's $100,000, like produce an album," like I feel like you might get something where you're like, "Man, I'd love to tackle these like worship songs or these Rich Mullins songs or whatever." But also you might sit there and say, "Man, I'd love to release, you know, songs about like my family. So my girls would always have these." So it's like, does it make you less Christian? But I think that in the market, you know, like I remember this Jars of Clay song that they mentioned, like, oh, is it about God? But he talks about like missing like their touch. And they're like, I think it's about his like wife. And I'm just sitting there thinking, so what if he's singing about how he's like, man, I hate being on these tours because I feel like I'm in space and I feel like I am so distant from my family. And I'm like, that doesn't make him like, how would that make him more Christian if he was like, yeah, I hate my family, but like I've got the Bible. Like that wouldn't make you a good Christian, make you a psychopath.
It's pretty funny because I just remembered who that Prodigal song was by. And and it fits perfectly with this conversation. So Paul Meany of the band Mute Math put out his solo record last year, and it was in my top 10, if you remember. But he wrote a song called Prodigal, and the reason I even thought of any of this is because there was a on some Christian rock and metal Facebook group, somebody was trying to make the case that Mute Math wasn't Christian or something. And so right along the lines of what we're talking about. And so people are getting then into this, like, what makes music Christian? Is it Christian? Is it Christian adjacent or whatever it may be? And somebody made the comment on there that, well, Paul Meany doesn't even claim to be a Christian anymore. And I was like, yeah, this guy obviously hasn't listened to his newest record, because it's like the most, I feel like, upfront about his faith that he's like ever been before. But it made me think about that Prodigal song, because he like deals with some like struggle in his life, but there's a lyric in there where he says, I guess prodigals do return when down to their last thread. And he says, I'm running at a fight and running into God. So maybe there's a line from here to the divine. But anyways, so I'll just throw Mute Math in that category as well, because I think they fit really well there in that Christian adjacent kind of category. So great band. Can't wait to cover them one day and make you listen to the Mute Math self-titled album.
I'm looking forward to it. I feel like in season 2 there's
season 2.
I feel like there's a lot of those, like we've teased these bands that we listen to, and it's like like if you could go back and rank them, I feel like there's been a lot of mentions of like MXPX, Last Bison, like Children 18-3, like,
Yeah.
and so I'm really excited to it was just like Toby Mac to me. Like that's
Right.
it's interesting to think that we covered 40 something albums before getting around to anything like Toby Mac related.
Like,
And
how are we covering a Neon Horse EP before we cover an MXPX album?
this is what the people want.
Oh, cool. Well, that's a great question, John, and brings just a great discussion with it. And so I remember writing a blog post a long time ago about how music can't be Christian, only people can be.
Yeah.
And I do think that that's still true in a lot of ways. But I think in music we can express ideas, but to try and like draw these really clear lines around something actually probably really inhibits like
Yeah.
any artistic merit about it. So I like Christian adjacent bands a lot. They're fun. So all right, let's talk about what we've been listening to lately, Brandon. What's something you've been
Recently, I have been listening to a little song called 1-2 Barbecue by John Rubin and Mike Tompkins.
I knew this one was coming.
Yeah, I John Rubin doesn't release stuff as much as he used to, so I think that there's always kind of that fear of, you know, you build up, because I'm sure you have artists that are the same way, that you're like, you know, like we're not always lucky to have a Starflyer 59 that every 6 months is like, here's me music.
Right.
And but I really liked it. It's just kind of like a fun, like ridiculous, like, oh, I'm sneaking into a barbecue. So it's nothing like serious about it. But it's good. And I think the fact that like Jordan really enjoyed like the hook of the song,
Yeah.
like it says a lot that it was like, oh, okay, this is
Gives it
like
some
a pretty decent
credibility.
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So you're telling me that not all John Rubin songs are serious?
oh no, he's very goofy.
It's funny.
There's one of his music videos where they play Duck Duck Goose. So,
Awesome. So goosey, not just goofy.
yes.
All right. For me, I've got to highlight this just because John Van Dusen keeps releasing new singles from As Long as I Am in the Tent of This Body, I Will Make a Joyful Noise Part 2. And the most recent one that he's released is a song called Joyful Noise, which is a collaboration with Citizens. And I don't know if you've looked at the track listing at all for that record, but it's like almost every song is a collaboration or
That's
a
really cool.
featuring with somebody. And it's kind of all over the place. So far it's been, he did a song with John Guerra that he's released already. I can't remember who the first one was a collaboration, but this one here is Citizens, who is a worship / Christian band. Man, Joyful Noise, it's a killer song. Probably one of my favorite songs that he's ever released. Super fun. Great melody. I think there's really something special. I've only heard 3 songs off this record, but I think there's something really special about it. I think it's gonna be a big one. So I'm pretty pumped about it.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So can't recommend Joyful Noise enough. John Van Dusen, go listen to it. It's great.
I think it's so cool when an artist just releases so many songs. Because I mean, it goes back to like, you know, you wait for artists, and I remember back in the day being like, oh, I'm thinking of an artist, but I don't want to name them because I like them, but they were guilty of this, that they like wouldn't release something for 2 to 3 years, and you'd be like, oh, I can't wait. And then they're like, all right, 10 songs on an album. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, so like over the past 3 years, there was only like 10 songs that you guys, and I mean, I don't know if that's like the label or what, but it almost just thinks, oh, is that like how much you guys are producing? Like, but
Yeah, it's it is really fun to like be into artists that are putting out a lot of music, and those are rarely artists though that like all of it's really good. And I feel like with John Van Dusen that's true, and that's like a challenging thing to tackle. So it's kind of fun. But yeah, last year he put out a 18 song album. This year he's putting out a 20 song album. So pretty cool. All right. I think, Brandon, you have a game. So let's play.
Let's play, let's play. It's time to play a game. Let's play, let's play. It's time to play a game.
All right, so for this week, I was thinking of a game, and I was thinking about how Neon Horse is just a really amazing band, and they're very mysterious. And I wanted to make a game that highlighted that, and I couldn't think of anything. So we pivoted towards I think I was just like, I don't know if I was like sitting in my office or like laying in bed one night, but I just started thinking, what if like people from the Bible released music? And so our game today is we've generated some bands and their genre and the band members, and you're just going to tell me 1 out of 5. I guess how you'd think, or are you buying or passing? That's a better way to say this.
Okay.
So we're not ranking them as what's the best or whatever. It's just
So I can't stream it. I have to actually buy it.
yeah, you're at a record store.
Okay.
And you see these on vinyl. All right, the
Okay.
new releases. Okay.
How much is the vinyl?
See, I would say it's cheap, but you strike me as someone that might be like, this must not be good because it's cheap.
I mean, $20 for vinyl would be a steal. So you want to put
What
it
about these are $10.
$10?
Yeah, it's a record store like deal. They've unearthed these.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, the first off, a band is called the Stone Tablets. It's a heavy metal band, and it consists of Moses on lead vocals, Aaron on bass, and Joshua on drums.
I'm not that into metal. So I feel like that's probably my struggle.
Okay.
I have like one metal album on vinyl.
So
Well,
probably passing on this one.
probably
then.
gonna pass, yeah.
Okay. What about the next one is Prison Hymns. It's a blues genre, and it's Paul and Silas.
I'm probably a little more like willing to listen to that, but I feel like just because it's Paul, I'd probably give it a shot.
Okay, that sounds good. What about the 12 Chords? It is classic rock, and it features Peter, Andrew, James, John, and the rest of the disciples. So you've got like 12 different people popping up on here.
Classic rock. Again, not my favorite genre, but it's the Disciples. Yeah, we'll go for it.
Does it matter to you if it's before or after Judas's exit from the band?
Actually, if the Judas drama is like happening during the recording of the album, then I feel like it makes it a little more interesting.
Collectible?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
The Fiery Furnace, heavy metal, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Here we are back to the metal again. It makes sense with the fire. But yeah, that one seems more interesting just because of that. So,
Okay.
Sure.
King's Jealousy. It's a grunge band featuring Saul.
These are all interesting music genres for you to pick for this. Nah.
Okay. The next one is Snake in the Garden. Is alternative metal, and it features the serpent from Eden.
Just Satan.
To me, what's so funny is that if you say the serpent, it's a whole new versus like, hey, would you like to listen to this album made by the devil?
This is like what every parent wants their kid not to listen to. This is an album by the devil himself. But I just feel like, man.
What if
yeah.
it's the serpent after the devil possessed it? So it's just a snake.
I mean, it brings in a pretty big theological question, though. So was it a possession or an incarnation or, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe a lizard man.
I'm just for the sake of my soul, though. I feel like it's not wise.
Just
to
stay
listen
away
to
from
the
it. That's
enemy.
probably good. Maybe that's a good. If anyone, you know how we talked recently about if someone, what do we want people to walk away from, is if the devil himself is trying to sell you an album, or I would go so far as to say any product. The devil comes to your door with a vacuum or with books or with pencils. Just
Avoid.
say no. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's what we cover here. Just a couple more. Fishers of Men, folk rock, Peter, Andrew, James, and John.
Sure.
Okay. The Wise Guys, jazz, the Three Wise Men.
No.
Esther and the Royals. It's a pop band consisting of Esther and Mordecai.
It's like Florence and the Machine. Sure. Yeah.
All right. The Ark Builders, Bluegrass, Noah and Sons.
No.
All right, and the final one, this is called Dreamcoat. The genre is pop, and it is Joseph and his brothers. And this is what they released after being reunited. So this is after their hiatus.
Okay. Because earlier the band broke up because of all the drama.
Yeah.
They
You're
got
like-
jealous of the lead singer and yeah, sure.
Do you think in today's age, a band could survive that, Joel? That if they were a band and then they were like, oh no, our lead singer, he was killed by a wild animal. And then 20 years later, they're like, oh, actually, no, we sold him into slavery and he was alive, but now we're going to release music again. Do you think a band could do that?
I feel like crazier things have happened in the Christian music industry. Do you know about the Christian metal band where the guy who was the lead singer like put in a hit on his wife
No.
and got like arrested and put in prison. So this happened a few years ago, but Tim Lambesis, who's the lead singer for the band As I Lay Dying, got into a fight with his wife and like literally put out a hit on her to have her killed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So crazy things happen in the world of Christian music.
Is the band still going on or?
As I Lay Dying, I'm not really sure because I don't listen to Christian metal.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that like I think he got out of jail and he's tried to do some things. And
That's
you
good
can
news.
imagine that he's a pretty polarizing figure.
I just don't know how you recover from that.
Yeah, I don't either. So interesting. All right, did we cover them all?
I think so.
All right. Yeah, could be interesting. There was no hip hop in there, no rap, no emo.
I'm sorry. That's
It is what it is.
take it
Like-
up with them. Take it up with the Bible.
All right. Well, Brandon, today we are covering Habit of Creature by Neon Horse. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, one of the things that I noticed about this is the mystery around the band Neon Horse. Mm-hmm. So, like, it seems like there's mystery, but at the same time, I feel like everybody knows who's in the band. So, like,
That's true.
you tell me, like, what is the mystery of Neon Horse?
Before I get to that, so when you said that, I pulled up this guy, and it
Okay.
says that after he got out of jail, there was a video of him like kicking a dog. I mean, maybe that's an improvement, but that's still not like.
Not great.
If someone said they burned down 100 homes, but that's like, oh, I just burned down 2 homes. I'd still be like, oh, just stop trying to hurt your wife and or animals.
Yeah, dogs. Don't kick a dog.
It's another lesson, everyone out there. Do not try to hurt your spouse or dogs.
Such a
Just
mess.
don't kick people.
I just gave you like a really deep hole to go down later.
Yeah. The rest of this, I'm going to be distracted. I'm gonna be like, oh, yeah, the band. Yeah, so back in the day, one of these days, we just need to review that like songs from the Penalty Box EP, or not EP, but like album, and just go through all of them. because there's so many bands I was introduced to, but Neon Horse was one of them. And like you said, it's made up of Mark Solomon, Jason Martin, and Stephen Dale. And at the time, I don't think people knew. I mean, maybe it was kind of like,
Yeah.
it was like, oh yeah, we clearly know who this person is, because I didn't really know any of the band members, so I couldn't pick up on, oh, this sounds like Starflyer or
Right.
anything. And I remember one of my
It doesn't
friends,
sound like Starflyer.
yeah, and but like one of my friends, I remember them even saying like, yeah, no one knows who's in the band. So that kind of like furthers that, like, well, if this person was following the band, like maybe it was a pretty well kept secret or whatever, or at least when it was first introduced. But yeah, they released back in, I believe it was 2007, their first album. Then they released another album on Tooth and Nail, and then disappeared for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So
Until we get this EP,
yeah.
which is oddly named Habit of Creature instead of Creature of Habit.
As soon as I saw the name, I was like, this is going to be exciting, because it's just weird stuff. I guess just like giving a little bit of background or whatever for anyone listening. The idea behind it is that it is a character named like Norman, who is, I don't know if he has a last name or whatever, but he is like releasing these songs and all, so it's like an alter ego.
Okay.
But there's like one that's kind of like a haunting voice, and then one that's like different, or like, I don't know, like more nasally, maybe the way to describe it. And so yeah, they just produced this, and the first album was really cool. It was just kind of a lot of like, I feel like there wasn't really like a theme to it. It was just, man, these songs are cool, let's release them. The second one was cool because each track was based off of like a Bible verse from the Bible. And I thought it was really cool because like it was stories I'd never heard of. And I was like, oh man, instead of talking about like David and Goliath, they're over here talking about like some random passage from like Ezekiel or like Amos or whatever. And so yeah, I just felt like they were a band that they just put out like good music, and it was just, they had like that cool different thing they were doing.
Yeah.
So
Do you feel like Habit of Creature is pretty stylistically in line with their two full lengths?
yeah, I think that it blends it well. I go into it in the review, but there's one of the tracks on here that I'm like, man, this could have been right off of the first one. And I think this one blends it well, because the first one was just, like I said, just these are rock songs that sound good. The second one was more storytelling. And so I think on this EP, it blends it well, that you see stuff that's just, here's a 2.5 minute song and then we're out. Because the first album is 12 tracks, and it clocks in at just over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes and 20 seconds. So it's a lot of just these quick little 2-minute songs. But yeah, I think this blends well, and I think that's why I wanted to choose this, was that, you know, we cover a lot of albums, and so I think it's cool to throw in an EP and just to get kind of a sample of this. Because being honestly, like, it's like going to a restaurant. Like, you might like the place more if you had like a burger and fries and all that stuff. But I think it's also just exciting to be like, just order a milkshake and tell me what you think about like the milkshake. So this is also the EP that introduced me to Velvet Blue music.
Gotcha.
So to me, it's special that like it introduced me to all these amazing bands, as well as it's the only like vinyl that was ever released for Neon Horse. And so, you know, we talk about these bands that disappear before I got into them. And I felt like this was an opportunity for, okay, like when I was a kid, I didn't have money to spend on this, but now it's like I can justify buying this like vinyl and the CD and these stickers that come with it. So
I love the artwork on this one. It's it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'd never listened to Neon Horse somehow. And so even though I'm a big Starflyer fan, I feel like Jason Martin's in so many projects. It's like hard to keep up. And so this would be one of those examples for me. Plus, it's just pretty far out of the wheelhouse of Starflyer in some different ways. But yeah, this is my first exposure. That's why I asked, just wondering like how it fits with kind of the rest of their stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it. So let's do it. This was released in October 2024. Their long-awaited return after 15 years. It picks up, and according to some things I've seen, maybe a little heavier than some of their other stuff. They recorded this themselves and had it mixed by Bob Hogue. And yeah. All right.
I like the description they have on their Bandcamp. And it goes, though as quickly as they entered, like a thief in the night, they exited and went silent. Now 15 later, they reemerge with Habit of Creature, 4 absolutely filthy, hard-hitting rock songs. And I was like, I feel like whether you love or hate this album, that's a great way to describe. Like,
That's really funny. Are you a Mark Solomon fan?
I feel like this, I want to say yeah, but this is the only band that I think like I've tried other bands of his, but it was never like, I feel like he strikes me as an artist that you kind of need to know, oh, you like this part of him, you should listen to this album and jump into. And because I think if you try to jump into the wrong one, or if you try to go to like the top Spotify song, like you're gonna miss out on.
It feels to me like a little more in line probably with The Crucified, which is like his more sort of punk rocky kind of band, than Stavesacre, which is more just like alternative. Because this album doesn't feel alternative to me.
Yeah.
But it has a little bit of like a punk rock influence. So
I feel like I look at Neon Horse a lot as like a classic rock.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
definitely more of that vibe.
yeah, for sure. I get that. All right, well, let's kind of get into it. So we got 4 tracks on this. It won't take us too long to get through. The first song is Haskell Moon. Brandon, talk to me about this one.
So this was their I want to say lead off single, but I feel like when you're a band this small, there's we released this first. But like as soon as this was released, I was like, man, they've picked up right where they've left off at. And I feel like if I had to choose like a sound when I think of Neon Horse, this is what I think of. It's just like the guitars going, like the lyrics are like what's going on, and then even just like the shouting with like the voices. I feel like it's not as much on this track, but you get a little taste of like a little bit of the voices.
Yep.
And I think the whole track is like 2 minutes and 30 seconds maybe, but they just fit so much into it.
Right.
And I think that Neon Horse, 2 minutes and 37 seconds, is the shortest track on there. And I think that's a great way to kind of start off your album, is jumping into hear something short and you already experience like what you're going to see the rest of the time.
Yeah. So this is like my first Neon Horse anything when it comes in. And it started and I'm like, oh, this is not really what I was expecting. I'd heard you kind of talk about them as kind of like a spooky band. And I definitely get some of that vibe. But yeah, it does feel kind of like 80s, 90s classic rock / like metal. Kind of like the hard rock kind of line. It weirdly reminded me of the Christian band from those days, late 80s, early 90s, Bride, who was metal and then kind of like jumped a little bit into the alternative world as all the alternative music, grunge music was like kicking in. And so, yeah, it's very rock and roll. I did write down the note, this is not what I would typically listen to. But then I said it would be really fun to like be in this band and play these songs.
Yeah.
Like it feels really, really energetic and really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I can totally understand why they're
Mm-hmm.
doing this.
Yeah.
Just as like something really kind of fun to do
Mm-hmm.
on the side. So yeah. So even though it's not what I would typically listen to, I still think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
Next, we move into Nuttin' There. What were your thoughts about this one?
yeah, so I like there's a few things. This one feels probably the most like the like classic rock vibe to me of like all of the songs on here. There's a weird guitar with like a synthesizer on it at some point, which I feel like it was like a really cool effect, and I dug that a lot. There's also like piano in this one. And then honestly, Brandon, I was not ready for like the weird like voice
Yeah.
to kick in. Because this was the first time that I was exposed to it, and it reminded me of like from like Michael Jackson Thriller or something. I was just like, what is this? And so I thought that was really interesting. But I wasn't quite sure what to do with it yet. But it's not the only time it shows up on the EP. So
Yeah, I think that going forward, the voice definitely like comes out more in it.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm glad you went first because I put in like the guitar part and I was prepared to try to make the noise. But I feel like you saying, yeah, there's like this synthesizer going on instead of me going, yeah, on their EP it goes like wee ooh, ooh. I like the piano part kicking in.
Yeah.
And it's funny because everything you said was like I talked about the guitar, the piano part, and then like the like leaning into like the spookiness of like the voice at the end with
Yeah.
him like talking. So really everything you said was like I'll have what he's having.
Yeah, it was a really interesting one for sure. All right, what about Moana Lisa, track number 3?
So this one sounded a lot like their first album. So this was the one that I was like, if they said, yeah, this was one we didn't use on the first one, I would believe it. I feel like it just leans a lot more into kind of like, I don't know, taking like this trip and you're letting the music go where it goes with it. I also really like that there's really leaning into the voices on this one.
Yeah.
Because that's something like I loved at the time is I didn't even know that it was Mark doing both. I thought it was like, okay, well, it's Mark doing one of them, then who's doing the second voice in there? And I enjoyed it because it almost was like, at the beginning, it felt like you had two different, like the one guy was like this voice of reason, whereas the other one was like the sinister guy or whatever. But I think with this one, they just do a good job of going in and out of it. And I feel like that'd be impressive because as someone who has sang a lot to their fair share of Neon Horse, I know for me as an untrained vocalist, it can be difficult when I'm in my car from going to a spooky voice to a creepy voice. So
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite track on the EP. And I think one of the reasons is because I can tell that Jason Martin's playing guitar here pretty clearly. I have a lot of notes, and they all have to do with guitars. I like the guitars at the start. The guitars on the pre-chorus are huge and so good. Guitars at the end are great. All the guitars make this song worth it. This is like a guitar song, and it's got the big guitars, and it's got what Jason does on Starflower a lot, where he'll play like a simple like guitar part that's like not maybe barely even overdriven or anything, but it's really pulled into the mix, into the forefront, and it just works really well. And so there's a lot that I liked about this track. But yeah, it's definitely my favorite. It's got a little bit of a Starflower influence on it.
Yeah. Next we move to I Know That It Can Be Confusing When It's All Your Fault. How do you feel about this track, Joel?
Yeah, this one's good too. There's a saxophone on it, which is cool. Something different. You've got the Thriller voice again. happening, and so that one stood out to me on this one in a big way. I love the guitars here. So this one's like this is like the longest track on the EP, right?
It's over 5 minutes long.
Yeah, long one for them. So, but yeah, there's a lot that happens, and a lot of like change ups in it, and so I like that about it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I loved it. I feel like there's so much going on because you get, I think you don't even hear him sing until like a minute and a half into it.
Yeah,
So there's a ton of just guitar going at the beginning of it.
I feel like that's something you normally wouldn't like.
Yeah, I think that's even the layout of this EP. Like normally I would say, why would you end on this?
Yeah,
And I think it's always impressive when a band can do something that I feel like is as a rule of mine, but it works. You know, it's like with worship
Yeah.
music. Like there's bands that I'm like, I don't like this genre, but then I listen and I'm like, this is incredible. Like I didn't know that this was possible. Like it's just like I said, there's just so much going on with like you feel like you're at it's almost like when you're on a roller coaster and you think that it's ended, but then you realize that now it's like starting to go backwards,
Yeah.
like through it. And even just at the part where he's like doing the spooky voice and he's like, who calls at this hour, wakes my beauty sleep, curiosity, inevitability. Indeed, fortune favors the brave. Please call me by my name. Fortune, fate, or folly, the outcome is the same. And I'm just like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what he like.
it's still very thriller.
Yeah, like I just enjoy like everything that's going on, and I think any minute it's something that like the guitar at the beginning could be, you could overdo it. I think with the voice it could be okay, we get it, like you say creepy things like why are you doing this again? But I think for me as the listener, it's all this stuff that's on the line, but it works just enough to
Yeah.
produce a really good track. So
That's cool. Yeah, it's a good one. So that's the EP. Mm-hmm. We've covered all of the tracks on this one. So it is a quick, kind of like easy listen. Brandon, you want to give your final thoughts?
yeah, so yeah, as someone who's a huge fan of it, whenever people come out with like a remake or a reboot or something, I think that a lot of times it's something new, and many times the new or sticking to the same, like it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think this EP does a really good job of mixing, blending both sounds and becoming you're releasing exactly what you did 20 years ago almost, but it's like you've stepped it up, but also kept like the heart of it.
Yeah.
And so to me, like I really enjoyed it. I think that it's a little bit of something where you've got the quick songs, you've got the long songs. Like you can find something on here, even though it's 4 songs. Do you want to do the rating now too?
Sure.
I went back and forth on this because I feel like it goes back to Brandon rules, is that like it's an EP, you can't get like 5 stars on this, but I think that thinking of it from the Joel perspective, there'll be a t-shirt coming up. I think for me it's a 5 out of 5 just because there was so much built up on, is this going to be good? And it exceeded expectations. It was something that I wanted to tell people to listen to. And a year and a half after it came out, I still listen to this all the time. So yeah, for me, it's a 5-star EP.
That's cool. Yeah, this was a fun one for me to listen to. And again, I think like it'd be really fun to be in this band and play these shows with a crowd of people. It's not my normal like music genre. And I know people who love Mark Solomon, like love Mark Solomon. I'm not the biggest Mark Solomon like vocal fan. I just think his voice is interesting in a way that like isn't my kind of cup of tea. But I think it works really well in what they're doing here. And he doesn't sound like the lead singer of Stavesacre on this album. Like this is unique to this project, and I appreciate that a bunch. And so, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It surprises me that an album like this comes out today, but I think that's one of the things that I love about like the music world right now is you can pretty much do anything you want to do. Like nothing is off limits. And I feel like there was a day and time where somebody would have made an album like this and they would be like, that sounds like 10 years ago. Like, why are you doing that today? And I don't think those rules exist anymore. And so I love the like just the freedom and creativity for them to be like, we're still going to do what we were doing 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And I think that's really cool. And so, so for me, just my initial listen, and I'm excited to like listen to more. And like, I keep thinking through, like, I want to listen to some of their other stuff too, and think about like incorporating the stuff into my Halloween playlist and stuff like that. But I think for me, just kind of on a first listen for this, it landed at like a 3.5.
Okay.
And so I love the fact that it's different. While simultaneously the fact that it's different, maybe I didn't love. So that doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense to me.
So I wonder, like, do you feel like as a listener, like, because that's what's cool is that this is a perfect example of, oh man, I've listened to this stuff so much. It's still good. For you, it's, man, I've listened to it the first time. Do you feel as though first listen, do you think that you found yourself thinking, man, I wish we would have done a whole album? Or do you think that with it being so kind of different that you're like, I'm glad we did 4 songs, because I feel like if I would have listened to 13 of these tracks, do you feel like if I added 9 more of tracks to this EP, do you feel like you think that you would have enjoyed it more? Or do you think that you would have been like, nah, man, I think that this gets old quick if you're not used to it?
Yeah, I don't know. Just because I think this is the only exposure that I've had. So it'd be interesting to me to like listen to a band like this where they have more space to like flesh out sounds a little bit. Because I imagine that there's probably not, their albums probably aren't an album of like all songs like this. Like there's probably some different like vibes they go for and slower songs and things like that I feel like would just be really interesting to be able to listen to. And so I feel like this was a good introduction to them, but it does make me want to go and check out more of their stuff. So yeah, I liked it.
There you go.
Thanks for exposing me to it, and I'm pumped to be able to give it more of a shot. So all right, let's talk about our lyric of the week.
It's time for the lyric of the it's time.
So our lyric, it's a very short one, but it comes from the track Mona Lisa. And it's where he goes, would it kill you just to die a little to yourself? And I feel like every time I listen to that track, I mean, because he's also kind of like, like there's this like yelling it almost to the person.
Yeah.
But it's funny how often I like hear that in the back of my mind right now of like, oh, like, is this a moment right now where it would help me to like die a little to what like myself wants right now? I guess it goes back to like the Christian adjacent, that this is a song about him, like talking about this woman or guy or whatever that's like wronged him. But
Yeah.
when I read that lyric, I think to myself, like, yeah, like, is this a moment right now where I am acting out of a lot of selfishness? So
Yeah, that's definitely like whatever the situation may be for him. It's definitely borrowing language from the Christian world and biblical ethic and putting it in play and something else. So yeah, that's interesting. That's a really cool line. I like it. Well, we're thankful for you guys for joining us, for checking out Habit of Creature by Neon Horse. And we encourage you to check it out as well as continue to listen to the podcast. Follow us on all the places. Send us some mail. We're just thankful we get the chance to do this and hang out with y'all and talk about music and expose ourselves to music and expose you to new cool stuff that's happening. So we're going to look forward to seeing you back again next week.
Hey, are you listening? This ain't no quiet thing. We're screaming out our lungs. Hey, are you listening? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you listening? Or do you just not care?